Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dirt Hub All British Motocross podcast with myself, Ben Rumbold, and Dirt Hub boss Paul Ooten. Really looking forward now to the penultimate rounds, if you like, rounds 6 and 7 of the Motul ACU British Motocross Championship happening this weekend up in Scotland at Duns. So, first Scottish trip for me. Really can't wait for it. And Paul, it's been a crazy few weeks in the world of motocross, and it's carrying on this weekend to come in.
Definitely crazy in your world, isn't it? You've been pretty much everywhere, but it is a crazy world. One of the crazy things I know it's not British motocross, but we were just discussing this off air. Crazy that the rider that is going to be at Duns, Jeffrey Herlings, who just went 1-1-1 on home soil, is not in the Dutch Motocross Nations team. That is crazy. But yeah, loads of crazy stuff going on in motocross at the moment. Probably a little bit more tamer in British motocross than GPs in America right now. But I think it's going to light up this weekend in Duns. 2 rounds in Scotland. We know Johnny Douglas Hamilton up there will create an absolute amazing track. The presentation will be slick. I think we're in for a treat. Jeffrey Herlings, Conrad Mewse, Adam Sterry and Gilbert in MX1 is going to be exciting. Taylor Hamill in there, who's starting to really find his feet. And then we've got what is a really epic title fight in MX2, then between Tommy Searle and the young guns coming up through the ranks. And with the 125s is certainly pretty exciting too. So, yeah, I think we're in for an absolute treat of a weekend up in Scotland.
Yeah, going to be awesome. I mean, like you say, just the fact you have Jeffrey Herlings there adds some dimension to everything, to any event. I'd love it if he could run the number one, although I think he kind of has given that up since he crashed practicing with it before the 2019 season, I think it was, or 22, I can't remember. But yeah, so sadly, I don't think he'll run the number one because he is reigning British champion. He could do. But yeah, either way, he's up there. And against Conrad, Conrad always lifts his game. Against Jeffrey, he pushed to the maximum to beat him at Monster Mountain last time they raced in the midweek series. And it's just 2 amazing styles altogether. And of course, with Conrad racing a lot in Scotland, new Scottish champion for this year, then for sure he will want to keep things going because he's been perfect so far, completely unbeaten. He said himself at Landrake that he wasn't ready to lose that unbeaten dream, if you like. But he's got a serious work cut out to keep that going over 4 races at Duns this weekend. Having said all that, of course, the championship is also up for grabs. He could very well clinch that championship this weekend. So that will also be something maybe on his mind. So we'll see how it goes. But personally, I expect Conrad to go full out to beat Jeffrey, and that in itself, to see those 2 guys at full flight, is a serious spectacle. We've seen it in Wales, and now we're going to see it in Scotland, which is great.
Interestingly, though, Conrad has probably been beaten in Scotland more than anywhere else. Purdon's beaten him, Ben Edwards has beaten him. So yeah, that's an interesting fact. The one rider, obviously, that has really, in the last few weeks, really, put the hammer down is Taylor Hamill. He won a race at the Monster Masters. He went over to Ulster and blitzed and beat. I think he beat Josh Gilbert in all 3 races, I think, over there. So Taylor Hamill's really starting to build his confidence, and we said it before. He's getting closer and closer to those riders, and I think he's starting to make some starts, which I think has hampered him previously. So watch out for him. He's already beaten the Bullet. I know it was in a shorter race, a shorter format, but you know what? It's certainly going to boost his confidence. And I think Taylor is a confidence rider. And get him out the gate with, that confidence behind him. Watch out for him. He could get another big result.
Yeah, absolutely. Fully expect Taylor to push at the very front. I mean, it's going to be an exciting weekend because sadly Tristan Purdon is out, so Taylor will usually you would expect to inherit fourth in the championship there, of course, because yeah, he's only 21 points behind. So for sure, he's likely to catch that up this weekend, barring any disasters. But yeah, for sure, Hamill has really grown into this 450 role now. I'd be interested to see what happens for next year for him because yeah, he's sorted things out now in this class, and yeah, I could see him being a regular podium contender if he carries on with this improvement, this sort of learning curve, if you like.
Yeah, like I said, he's really upped his game. Obviously, we know one team who has announced their lineup is not going to be on the Honda team, which obviously he rode before because Jamie Carpenter and Conrad Mewse have been named for those guys. So we know that Conrad's sticking in the UK next year with a few GPs thrown in, much to the the consternation of some people because and us alike really. We'd love to see him have a full stab at GPs and head to America and stuff. But the Crendon True 17, that their business is British, really, and yeah, Conrad's obviously doing his job really, which is to win the British Championship. But yeah, he will be looking to win that British Championship this weekend. The person who's closest to him is Adam Sterry. Obviously done pretty much a full GP series. I think his GP's season is over now. I think I saw him post that he's done with that. So all focus for him will be to try and keep that championship alive going into the final round. But that is going to be tough because Conrad is 43 points clear. 100 points on offer this weekend. You're the mathematician. You're good at all this. So what does Conrad need to do to get it over the line this weekend?
Yeah, so Conrad, just one point there before I forget it because it came up into my head. I mean, yeah, we all would like to see Conrad take his talent further afield because he is he's almost too strong to stay in the UK. I think he said himself he gets a lot of stick for not racing GPs, but yeah, financially it doesn't make sense, and that's fair enough. We can understand that as a business thing. Although you got to think yourself, Harry Koulas was 12th in points in the AMA 450 rankings this year. And let's face it, you put Harry Koulas against Conrad Mewse, you're probably going to see Conrad come on top most times. So that tells me that Conrad Mewse has got top 10 AMA National Championship finishing pace, which could mean top 5 races. That's the level that I think Conrad is at right now. So that's why I think we all get a little bit like, come on, go further afield. But that's just how we are. So anyway, yeah, the championship wise, 43 points between them. So the key thing is that they have to go to Ling after this weekend. Ling is the final round, the only round left. So that is 50 points haul available there. So if something happens to Conrad, Adam could feasibly get 50 points to take the title if Conrad doesn't score at Ling. So to wrap up the championship for certain, then you've got to see Conrad make a 7-point gap over Adam across the 4 rounds, across the 4 races at Duns. So simply put, if you say Herlings is going to do all 4, okay, let's just say that happens. If Herlings wins all 4, obviously we've got to run the races and everything's got to happen. But if Jeffrey wins all 4 races and Conrad is second 4 times, the best Sterry can do is third 4 times, and that's 4 lots of 2 points. So that's 8 points. So basically speaking, if Adam does not finish ahead of Conrad in any of the races this weekend, then Conrad will be champion. Because if he makes 8 points on him, he's 51 points ahead going to Ling, and there's no way that anyone can catch him. So that's it from there. Basically, simply put, to keep the championship alive for any mathematical chance, then Adam has to finish ahead of Conrad Mewse in at least one race this weekend.
Which is not going to be easy at all.
No, that's right. And of course, if Conrad gets the better of Jeffrey in 1 or 2 of the races, then that just makes it even clearer. So yeah, I mean, quite feasibly, if Conrad is first, and I don't know, that's no, he's not going to clinch on Saturday because you've still got Sunday's points available. So yeah.
But do you think that we've seen Conrad in the Monster Masters like go all out like to try and beat
Yeah.
Jeffrey, and it's not worked out at all. The Monster Masters not gone that well for Conrad. He's had little niggly injuries and crashes and stuff like that. Um, you know, is Conrad going to be in title mode or is he going to be in attack mode where he just wants to beat Jeffrey? And that's the thing. I'm sure if you're Dave Thorpe, you're saying, Conrad, just let him go. But Conrad's not that type of guy, is he? He's going to want to put one over the bullet.
Yeah, I mean, I think that common sense will prevail, and that he will do enough to take the championship. I wouldn't expect him to go as all out as he did at Monster Mountain when he's going for basically a £500 difference between second and first in that one race. He's looking at 1,500 quid for second. Hurlings is leading and sat on 2 grand. So for me, that to me was about, well, A, the pride of beating Hurlings, and B, 500 quid on the line. So I think that itself was something that drove Conrad to push as hard as he did against Jeffrey at Monster Mountain. And he was quick. He was very nearly got there. He just got a line slightly wrong. And many of us have seen the resultant pictures from the crash that happened. So yeah, I don't think Conrad will go as all out as that. I think he will have the back of his mind as championship is available here. But let's face it, it's going to take a complete freakish accident or anything weird for him not to be champion this year. So theoretically, you could say he's got nothing to lose. So he might just go, yeah, stuff it. We'll go all out and try and beat Jeffrey, and then see what happens. We hope.
But there is the
It's going to be
possibility
fascinating. It's
that
going to be fascinating.
that Conrad could be crowned on the first day. If you get someone like Josh Gilbert and Taylor get in between Conrad, and maybe Herlings, get in between Conrad and Sterry, potentially.
The problem is he'd have to be 100 points ahead at the end of Saturday.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
That's
I'm with it.
that's not
Yeah.
really going
Yeah.
to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's out of the question. Scrap that. That's
In fact, it's mathematically impossible. The maximum you could be ahead is 93 points. So
okay. Yeah. Ignore me. Just listen to Ben.
no, don't worry. It's like this is what happens. You get, hang on, he's only got to make this. Yeah. That's what happens with points. But yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, the key thing is he has to be at least 50 points ahead. Any tie break, it's obviously Conrad's game because he's won every race. So any tie break goes Conrad's way. So he has to be 50 points or more ahead at the end of this weekend, and he's champion no matter what.
Yeah, and we saw that. I just will give a little mention to VMXDM Fox Hill, which was pretty epic at the weekend. Christophe Pourcel took the three motos wins, which did it for Team USA. Yeah, controversies, French and all that,
Yeah,
but
USA.
it did nudge them over the Italians then on a tiebreak. So that was pretty exciting. There, great job by Dave King and Wobbs and the team to put on another excellent event there at Foxhill. So fair play to those guys. Talking of points, now we've got 3 riders that are in the top 10 that are currently out for the rest of the year. Tristan Purdon, who's sitting fourth, sadly is out for the nations as well, which is a massive blow for him and the SC Sport Homes Husqvarna team, which means there is a nice fourth spot up for grabs, which we said Taylor's probably a shoo-in for that. Then we've got Martin Barr in sixth, which he's announced his pro career is coming to an end. A little bit disappointing because I think this is his 19th nations, so potentially he could miss that. But next year would have been his 20th. I thought he might have held on just for one more year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, Martin, for all that, he's a nice guy, a great guy. He's still a competitor, and that's the main thing. And if he doesn't feel he could be competitive, then it makes sense to finish. I think his young ones started to ride, and I think he's starting to put attention that way as well. His son there. So yeah, I think for Martin, the results haven't been going very well this year. I kind of felt like he hasn't quite had the drive and the push to move forward through the races, which is something he always did. And I mean, a broken leg at Fox Hill, I mean, that's just a nightmare. I mean, to ride through it, that's just typical Martin Barr spirit. But
Yeah.
he'll be missed. Although I fully expect him to be back in some capacity because he just loves it too much. So yeah, I think. I mean, he's had a great career. I don't think it's worth dragging it out for another couple of years just to get that number for the nations. Personally, I can't see
To
that.
be fair, they still might give him a call. No, because if he does VMXDN and he's still riding, obviously he's got his own track. Do you know what I mean? He still might get the call.
Maybe. I mean, you'd have to have issues for Jason Mira. I think he's certainly an Irish pick for many years to come, and Colin McCulloch even more so. So yeah, I think the nation's team for Ireland this year will be a little bit of a stopgap, and then we'll see what they can do in future years. But yeah, for sure, Martin Barr will be missed. And yeah, he's been a great ambassador for sport, been absolutely fantastic for sport for motocross in Northern Ireland, and as well as arena cross. And yeah, we'll all miss him. But yeah, it's just hope he gets well soon and has minimum amount of pain. So Martin, if you're out there listening, then yeah, we'll miss you, and yeah, get well soon, man.
Yeah, get well soon, Martin. And you know, it's not been the best of years for him, but he still sits sixth in the standings.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
if he's there,
uh,
like
yeah, so he's still right up there. John Adamson, seventh, home turf. You know, he's had a tough slog in the GPs this year. I think he'd be looking forward to coming back here and doing some damage, to be honest. I just I just get a feeling there will be a little bit of fire in John Adams' belly this weekend.
just a
And
bit.
yeah, he could move up a good, well, at least two spots with a good weekend.
Oh yeah, I fully expect John Adamson to be whole shot in at least one race. He's going to be fired up. I mean, there's probably talking about one of the most aggressive riders on the track, and yeah, Adamson is going to be on it. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what John can bring. Actually, he get the crowd behind him for sure. He's just that sort of person that will get everybody fired up behind him, and looking forward to seeing what he can do. I mean, hopefully doesn't get too excited and he can bring things in, but I can see a top three race finish if he gets a good start and holds on for a good amount of time. He could make ground on the rest of them, and yeah, I think he's got enough pace to hold a third place finish with everybody in the race. If he can, if he gets a good start and stays there. So I fully expect a fired up John Anderson to be looking at those podium boxes and thinking, I'm going to be there for at least one of the two rounds, Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, that would be good to see, to be honest. I like John. He's just a proper character and it just never gives up. Never say die attitude from him. So he's actually
People, if
seventh.
people say to me that you've got no characters in the sport anymore, I would literally just put John in front of a camera, turn off the sensors, and just let him talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is a proper character. So he's in seventh in the championship. Eighth is Jamie Carpenter, whose season's sadly over. But good news for him that he has that ride with the Crendon True 7 Honda team secured for next year. Ninth is Dan Fornell. Now, looking at his scores, he has gone up every round. His season, he's quietly improved all year long, and he's starting to get some good results. And again, another round from him, he can move up 3 or 4 places in the championship standings this weekend. So watch out for him on the Chambers Racing KTM. Carlton Husband, another one. This is coming up north for Carlton. Then he did not like Landrate, did he?
Yeah, he was not happy at all. I mean, a note on Dan Thornhill. Then, yeah, he rode really well at the EMX Open at Lommel and carried that form through to Landrake. Seriously impressive there. So, yeah, be good to see Dan get stuck in. And yeah, Carlton Husband, he hated Landrake thoroughly. I think he said, if it's here next year, I'm not coming, something like that. But yeah, either way, I mean, yeah, for sure, a much closer journey for him this weekend. And yeah, I expect some fans to follow him up because racing at Schoolhouse, sadly we missed that this year, but his very local race at Schoolhouse, the last 2 years, lots of fans for him. And it's not a long journey from there to Duns. So hopefully a good bunch of Northern English supporters will come up and give Carlton a good buzz because yeah, for sure he should move into the top 10 of the championship, move further up into the top 10 of the championship this weekend, and yeah, I think he could put in a good sort of result.
Cool. And then 11th in the standings, Chris Mills. He's had a couple of quiet rounds because the middle of the season he had two storming rounds. But yeah, Landrake wasn't a great one for Chris. Didn't quite see his sort of fast starts, and yeah, he didn't seem quite at home at Landrake. So I think Duns will probably suit him a little bit more. So hopefully we'll be able to see a bit more from him. He's in 11th. Then Joel Rizzi in 12th, and yeah, one rider that just, a good weekend, a good 2 rounds from him. Maybe this will help him having one day, and then be able to try and, because they're still developing this Triumph. one day to, maybe find their feet and then the next day to sort of tweak that, and I think this could help quite a few riders actually having 2 days, probably maybe more so in MX2 with some of the European riders, where you've got one day to suss it out and the next day to nail it type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be intriguing to see how the 2 day format works. Some riders will maybe fade, others will come through stronger. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out because there's not often these pro racers have to race four motos over 2 days. So it's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, for sure. I think with Rizzy, I mean, I can see Rizzy top five. I think he's certainly got the pace. It's just all about the confidence. So if he can build his confidence through Saturday and improve fully for Sunday, then that could really work out well for him because he is a talent. He is a good rider. I think the Triumph has been a challenge for him, especially in his first year of the 450s. But he's taken it. He's carried on and he's kept plugging away. So he can't say more than that. And I think he is due a good result. I think he really does deserve a good result as well. So his best round so far, 21 points at that Blacksall. So yeah, I mean he does go well there. He's more of a soft terrain rider. So yeah, I think Duns should suit him, and hopefully he'll put in a good result.
Cool. And 13th, we've got Liam Knight, 14th, Charlie Putnam. But then in 15th and 16th, we've got two riders, obviously false positions in the championship. Tom Grimshaw was out early doors on their Pico Honda, then he was out with an injury that he got at the Arena Cross. But a couple of really good, solid rounds from him. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we've had Brad Todd, who started the season well, and then he's been out in America, and one of his best results at the last round. So yeah, these two guys, Brad Todd, don't forget, 2024 Scottish champion. Yeah, these two guys will be looking to really move up the rankings. 3 good rounds for them could put them well within the top 10. And I think this weekend could be positive for both of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tom rode supremely well at the VMXD in Fox Hill. His races against Carson Brown were some of the highlights of the weekend. I mean, there's some fantastic moves both back and forth between those two, and I think Tom won a few fans there, so that's great to see. And yeah, I mean, solid races at both Preston Docks and Landrake. For Tom, I mean, he's got to look, I would say, a 30-point haul both days. And like you say, he's right up there into the top ten sort of territory. So yeah, for sure. And I think Tom has got that pace. So yeah, I think it should be a good weekend for him. And yeah, Brad Todd, I mean, Mr. 8th place in qualifying at Thunder Valley. In case anybody hasn't heard him talk about that yet. Great result there. But yeah, ultimately he sort of brought it home within the top 30 in the AMA Nationals. And I know he's looking at a few more options for next year stateside. So yeah, for sure. Then yeah, Brad will bring some pace, and I think he could really do. It'd be interesting to see what he can do because he's been away for the British, like you say, since Canada Heights. So going to be entertaining to see what he can do.
Yeah, cool. And I'm just looking. So a couple of riders else to mention. Louis Kessel, who had an absolute stormer at Landrake on local, like really, a really good 2 rides. It wasn't just a one ride flash in the pan. This was a proper, yeah, in talking of confidence boost and standout rides for Louis Kessel, that was it, because the kid has not given up. He's had some tough times. But fair play to him. He really has worked hard, and someone who the family just deserve that result, and hopefully he can carry on from that. Obviously, gone the complete other end of the country for him to do it, but yeah, I'd like to see him get another good top 10 result.
Yeah, he's still only 21 years old. Moves up to the 450 simply because he's like 6'4". So it's a crazy big lad for his age there. But he's it makes it work. And yeah, Landrake 25 points there is a massive haul for him and brilliant to see. So hopefully, yeah, we'll have more of the same from Louis. Just briefly skipped over there, Matteo Mio. 18th in the championship for SAS TPC KTM. He rode really well at the EMX Open race at Lommel in the stand there. He was 7th overall, including a 4th in race 2. So Mio, a strange story from the French kid there. So yeah, we hope that he can bring things through because he's an entertaining rider to watch. But
I don't
yeah.
think he's racing at Dunzo.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough. I'll shut up then.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not on the entry list, and I'm pretty sure the SAS guys aren't. He's not racing.
Okay, of course, yeah, because they've got the other rider, yeah, yeah, which we'll
Yeah.
talk about. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, and then we'll see who else comes along. So it's Stuart Edmonds is going to line up for Team Ireland, and yeah, he took his best results of the year at Landrake with 16 points. So yeah, going to be interesting to see what Stuart can do. And yeah, you want to talk about Tony Craig, I think.
I was going to say there's a couple of riders. Charlie Cole coming back in for the 772 ride Kawasaki team. So that's a return from injury. Jed Etchells, rider, he hasn't, I think it's 2016 or something like that. He hasn't ridden motocross or high level motocross for. Obviously, he's been riding Enduro GP. 2017 was his last top race, and I think he was in MXY2, but obviously very talented rider, Team Green Kawasaki at the time. But he has rode the ISDE. He's been a British Enduro champion. He's also been a World Junior Enduro champion, and he's going to be riding a 450 Fantic then for the Phoenix Tools team. That will be really interesting to see how Jed goes, because definite talent. Yeah, and we saw Dan Mundell do so well on his enduro bike as well. So yeah, be interesting to see how Jed does on the 450 Fantic.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll leave the lights on for him just so he feels more at home. I don't know, but I know Dan Mandel rode his enduro bike with lights on at Landrake, and yeah, was blinding everybody with his rear light. But yeah, for sure, you know these enduro boys can thrash it around. So yeah, I was looking forward to see what Jed can do, especially with the 2 day format. I think that would also help Jed.
Yeah, well, he usually rides a 250, so stepping up to the 450 is a bit different for him. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's really excited for it.
no, it's gonna be fun. That gonna be fun to see how he gets on for sure.
But yeah, Tony Craig still going. He's just an awesome character, and I think if any rider was to get a whole shot to get a rise from the Scottish crowd, I'd love it to be Tony Craig. He just two bends. That's all we need from Tony. Just get the whole shot and lead for a couple of bends.
Okay, so we come to the point now where we talk about MX1 predictions. So
Yeah,
I hold a narrow 1 point lead in the championship between
yeah,
you
it's
and me.
tight. And this is sort of double, so we're gonna have to make one prediction, but it counts for both days. So this is big. This is big in the title chase for us here. Um, so who's going to show their hand first? Who's going first for their fifth place in MX1?
I'll go. Mine won't change. So yeah, you can change
Okay,
yours if. But yeah,
go for it.
fifth overall, John Adamson.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I've got Josh Gilbert.
Okay, fourth overall, Josh Gilbert.
Okay, I've got Adam Sterry.
I think I know where you're going. Right. Okay. Third overall, Adam Sterry.
Okay, I'm going Taylor Hamill.
Thought you would.
I just think he's stepping up. I just really do think he's just growing.
Okay. Cool. I like it when we're different. This is good news.
Okay, second, who have you got?
Conrad Mewse.
Yeah, same here. Surprise, surprise, who's number one?
Herlings.
Do you know he's just gone 1-1-1 in a GP.
No. It was one, one,
Like,
one, one, one. He was top of every single session. I mean, okay, this is Arnhem. This is his home round. This is his territory. Fair enough. And Duns is distinctly not, you know. So I don't expect him to dominate. I do expect maybe Conrad to take one race off him. But we'll see. Over the weekend, I mean, yeah, he's at that point now where he's just fired up and doesn't want to be beaten full stop. So, yeah.
no, there we go. Well, that's the 450 predictions done. It's time for 250s, mate. It's time for MX2, which,
Oh, my Lord.
yeah, wow. Uh, Tommy Searle, like we said on the last pod, you know, yeah, we both writ him off, to be fair. We both thought the injury's gonna be too much for him to come back and be at the pace. And even, both of us didn't even put him in the top five, and then he went and won the overall. You know what? I don't think we can ever overlook Tommy Searle again. Because
Yeah.
he just punishes us for dissing him, really. So yeah, Tommy
Uh,
Searle. Yeah,
To paraphrase Pulp Fiction, we should have better known better.
mate.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, crazy. I mean, nobody saw that coming from Mandrake. I didn't anyway, because I thought he's clearly gonna. I thought, well, yeah, get a good start for sure. That's the sort of thing that Tommy does to do what's necessary. But to stay there like he did after the injury, then yeah, fair play. That's pretty amazing. And yeah, he's coming away with a 14-point lead. So what from here? Have the young guns got it in them to bounce back? Billy had bit of a big crash in Sweden and hurt his shoulder. He did race in race two with that hurt shoulder. Billy's now got Jamie Dobb firmly in his corner, which is interesting. Um, and Jamie himself is quite outspoken. Had an interesting conversation with him in Sweden whilst the Blue Crew race was on. And yeah, it was very much the idea that it's teaching the youngsters how to race is the priority for Jamie right now. So that one is very interesting to see. Bear in mind, he was there for Tommy. He helped Tommy get to where he got to. So I think it's good news for everybody that Billy Askew's got Jamie Dobb in his corner. How he responds to perhaps maybe harsher treatment than he's had in the past, that remains to be seen. But I'm excited by that because it means that he's getting the top. I think the top instruction that you can possibly get for this country. So yeah, we'll see what happens there with Billy. But yeah, a 14-point gap. He needs to get starts and clear off. Simple as that's Billy's big weapon now. If he can get the starts and yeah, make a gap early on, then yeah, you'd think that he's got a real chance of digging back that points lead. But it's going to be very tough for him.
Yeah, and the one rider that is just 1 point shy of Billy Askew is Charlie Heyman. Now, Charlie Heyman has done the Scottish Championship 2 years. He's reigning MX2 Scottish champion, and he's leading the Scottish Championship in MX2 at the moment, I think. So, Charlie Heyman is very good in Scotland. He knows these tracks. He is on a high. And I think we discussed it quite a lot about Charlie Heyman. He's very smooth, methodical. I feel he's starting to really nudge up his pace. Like we said, I think, some of the starts he's made, some of the ways he's been riding, he's starting to realize he's quicker. He can go quicker than what he believes he can. Similar in a way to Taylor Hamill, really. They're confidence riders. And a couple of these results, I think Matley was a big one for Charlie Heyman. Obviously, he's been in America. The pace there, especially in MX2, is intense. And yeah, I think this is the round for Charlie Heyman. And I think if someone could take the title fight to Tommy, I think it could well be Charlie here in Scotland. I really do. I really feel that, yeah, he's turned that corner, from, a rider that's sort of sixth, seventh to a real proper championship contender. I really did. And there was an interview that Ed did with him, and that he pretty much says that. He's really starting to believe in himself, and that is a dangerous thing when you get a rider that that is good, that is as good as Charlie, that suddenly gets that little bit more confidence, and starts to get a few more results. Yeah, I could see this being a really good weekend for Charlie, especially being two at Duns, a track he's ridden really well at before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think yeah, he's top 30 results in the AMA Nationals, which is, as big as it gets on a 250 at the moment, I feel. He is yeah, look, showing some serious pace domestically, and I just personally I just hope he gets the MX 250 next year. I want him to see him do that championship, get stuck in, because I think he's got all the makings of a potential Grand Prix rider in a good team in MX2. If he wants that, he might want to go across to the stateside instead, but then you've got to look at maybe Supercross, so that's another matter. But I think personally that yeah, Charlie Heyman could have a very good future in the World Championships if he continues with this trajectory. And yeah, the first step is of course doing well at home. So he's very much taken that policy all the way through. He's not gone out and pushed himself into Europe early. He's very much looking at winning at home and then moving over overseas maybe. But I mean, yeah, I for sure Charlie could well be a real force this weekend. Good starts, he's been getting them lately, and that puts him right into the mix. And he could be, yeah, he could be on for one. Could be a very brave prediction coming from someone.
Yeah, it's going to be. I haven't even written them down yet. Yeah, I don't know, because looking into fourth position, probably an outside bet for the championship, but you can't count him out after, it is a real shame that he crashed out race two. So Ben Musto, who won race one at Landrake, on the AC United Gas. If he hadn't have had, if he'd have had I don't know, say a fifth or something, he would have been right in this champion. He would have been in second, only probably about 10 points off of Tommy. And yeah, he beat Tommy, and looked very, very good in Motor One at Landrake. Shows he can make the starts, shows he can keep it cool and composed when he's at the front. And we know Tommy will not give up at all. When it doesn't matter who's in front of him, Tommy wants to win. So Ben Musto is a rider, and I think he will still feel, and the points are there on the board, still feel that he can win this title. And I think he will feel sort of aggrieved that he got that DNF in Moto 2, but luckily, he's going to be fit and ready for the Duns doubleheader.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he missed the Monster Mountain midweek race, which was directly after Landrake, because, yeah, obviously recovering from this bang to the wrist that he got there. He said it was more of a sprain than anything else, so hopefully it's not an ongoing issue for him, because it would be tragic if an injury got in the way of this season. But yeah, can he close down Billy and Charlie? Possibly, because with all due respect to them, they're probably more likely to have a duff race out of the six we've got left in the championship. But yeah, Musto has been consistent. That second race was a real, like I say, a real blot to his championship. But otherwise, like you say, he's right up there. I think Tommy might be a stretch too far to catch up 28 points on Searle from here. Would take a real disaster from Tommy's side, I think. So, yeah, Ben, I think for sure a top three in the championship is definitely possible. And yeah, he'll be going all out for it. I think he feels he's in the championship fight. He is one of these chip on the shoulder, Cooper Webb style sort of attitude to him. And I think, yeah, you always underestimate him. And yeah, a good start again, like he had at Landrake. And he's shown he can take a win home from there. So, yeah, for sure it's likely, I think, for that to happen again in one of the remaining six races, if not more than that.
So those four guys are, the only realistic title contenders. You know,
Yeah,
uh, so if we go down the championship, Guy Dunson is fifth, but he is out now, sadly, for the rest of the year.
right.
Um, but then we have the Euros. We've got Oriol Oliver, who we saw have a really good battle with Tommy, and this is what I mean. I think we've got him and Kai Karsmakers and Max Werner. Um, these are the guys that probably day one, because we saw at Landrake, Moto One, all of them were, sort of around the sort of 10th, 8th position, and then they sort of all nudged up in the Moto Two. So maybe day one, we might not see as good of results from Oriel and Max and Kai, but day two is where they possibly could come back and take a result. I think they could be two very different results where I have to be quite tactical of predictions here. Yeah, I think they could be, almost a fresh podium on day two.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know. I got a feeling like Landrake was a bit of a one-off. I think it was so hard pack that I think Europeans don't tend to see that sort of hard pack now certainly with the way GP tracks are prepped and things like that. Matterley Basin out of that equation, by the way. But yeah, I think I fully expect Oriol to be all guns blazing on both days. I don't think he's going to have an issue at all settling, although he's not in great form at the moment. He hasn't really been showing top pace in the GPs lately. So, yeah, he certainly is not where he was in the middle part of the year when he was challenging for race wins at Matterley, for example. I don't think Oriol's quite there again yet. And for sure, not being able to pass Tommy Searle or being repassed by Tommy Searle and not being able to beat him at Landrake was probably a knock to his confidence as well. So, I don't know. With the start, I think Oliveira would just clear off. But if he doesn't get a start, then I think fighting through the pack would be tough for him because all these British Terriers are very hungry for this. So, yeah, I think Oliveira is massively start dependent, and he's been 50-50 on those. So, yeah, I fully expect him to be very, very fast, but I'm not sure how it turns out into a race situation. Cars makers, similar deal. I can't remember if he raced at this circuit before when he came across don't think he did because yeah, it was after that. So yeah, for Kai, I know that Cars Makers is not doing Ling, so he's going to be doing Australia with Bike at Kawasaki. So yeah, he won't be at Ling. So this will be the last weekend we see Kai in this country this year. But yeah, I think he could. He's definitely a top five talent. You know, he was in the top 10 thereabouts at Arnhem in the GP. So yeah, I think he's definitely got good pace. But it's I feel like it's all on the starts with these kids. So I think they might struggle to pass some of the British riders if they start behind them, and certainly with a gap to work on. Max Verner is difficult to pin down whereabouts he's going to lie. He could be top five, he could be outside the top 10. So for Max, again, all down to the starts and see how he gets on. But yeah, for sure, I think the second day you'll see the Europeans by and large improve.
A rider, talking of pace, a rider that has shown pace, not quite shown in the results yet, but Joe Brooks, he is going to be a rider, definite contender. We've seen him in EMX rounds, like, have really good speed. Not quite shown in results yet, but there is a big result coming from Joe Brooks.
Joe's massively promising to get up into that top six at Landrake with his very first moto back from injury was brilliant. And yeah, he's got so much ability. And Sweden, I mean, he was second in the first laps at EMX 250 in race one, had a crash and came right away from the back to take points. I think he was 14th, something like that, which is an amazing result considering this is a full grid of 40 riders he's worked his way through, including passing Ollie Colmer as well. So yeah, Brooks has got serious pace, and as always with Joe, I just want to see him put two, even if it's just one day at Duns, he puts two results together. That would be fantastic because for sure he's a top five man. For sure he could be a podium potential rider. And on a private triumph, he's a real privateer hero to get behind. So I just want to see Joe do bloody well and get a good result and get in line for a top ride next year because he really does deserve one.
Do you know what? It's giving me a headache thinking about our predictions in there. There is quite a lot here. And a rider thrown into the mix, right? A name, a bit of a forgotten name, but the SAS TPC KTM team have snapped up Davy Pooches. Like, I think you were looking at some of the stats. So we haven't seen Davy Pooches since, was it, did you say 2022?
At world level, yeah. I mean, he was in MXGP because he was too old for MX2 by then. But yeah, in 2022, he was like in MXGP, but like outside the top 20, like not scoring points. And obviously he's left it behind from there. But we're talking about a rider who was a podium rider in MX2 back in like what 2017. So you know he's got abilities, no doubt about it. I mean, it's such a random pick for SAS TPC KTM to go with Davy Putchis, but yeah, the rider's got abilities and MX2 as well, a 250 that he had his best moments on, and a KTM, which I'm sure he will be very familiar to him. So yeah, that is a real wow. God, I mean, literally just like stick your finger in the air and think where he might be. You know, it's just yeah, he could be amazing, or he could be again outside the points. Who knows with David Pucci? So he was like that when he was at his very best. So it could be even more unpredictable when he's coming back like this.
I need to ask the SAS guys like how this came about because I have spoken to him, but I should have asked that question because you sort of imagine him sitting there on the couch eating popcorn, watching Netflix or something, and then a phone call comes in. "Do you fancy riding again, mate?" And brushing all the crumbs off his beer belly, going, "Yeah, yeah."
I
But
really don't know. I really don't know what is going to happen there. That's just yeah. I mean, expert insight is everything I can give you, but I like yeah, no idea what's going to happen with David Pucci. I mean, that's just such a wild card. So hey, why not? Be interesting.
why not? Why not? Yeah. Just looking down the championship stand, Jake Nichols is in sixth. Like, yeah, this guy, the MD,
The big boss.
yeah, he's doing it. He's bossing it in sixth, mate. Like that. Bossing, yeah, fair play to him. And again, riding for the Crendon True 7 Honda team next year as well. So yeah, he's just been solid, hasn't he? Really. And to be fair, he hasn't been making starts either. You know what I mean? He's been fighting through the pack. So fair play to Jake. In seventh with his nation's pick, Glenn McCormack. I think that's a big deal for Glenn as well to get picked for the nations. Chambers KTM then as well. I think that's a big deal, you know. And looking at the points there, you know, Jake and Glenn are quite capable. You know, if Ben doesn't have a great day and Guy and out, you know, these guys could quite well move up to fourth in the standings. Then Ori Oliver eighth, got Ollie Coleman ninth. A couple of quiet rounds for Ollie. You know, at the start of the year we were talking about, you know, maybe pushing for a podium. Not sure whether he's going to do the last EMX round. This could be just, you know, focus on British for the last rounds. But yeah, I feel Ollie needs Ollie could do with a good round or two.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hasn't shown brilliantly in Europe since his MX2 result at Lommel, where he got into the points in both races. So for Ollie, that Lommel result was fantastic, but since then it hasn't really gone very well. So yeah, not really sure with Ollie. I would be surprised if they go to Turkey because Chambers obviously aren't going with Matt, and they now have to get the budget together to take Glenn to the States. So yeah, I would be surprised to see if Ollie did go to Turkey afterwards, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, yeah, ninth in the championship, he's better than that. But you know, he was battling quite hard with Glenn McCormick, his teammate, and I think he'll almost be a bit annoyed that Glenn's gone past him in the points now. But then we go. That's how it is. If you have an off weekend, someone's always going to take advantage of it. Josh Vale is next up in the points there, 10th in the championship for Phoenix Tools Fantic, and that's been a solid pro debut season for him, really, after injury early in the year. So yeah, for Josh, that's decent, and that would be good to see him at least get into the top 10 for the whole season. I think that's certainly possible now, and yeah, why not? I mean, Josh is certainly a talent that we want to nurture and get up there.
Cool. And just looking at 13th, Callum Mitchell, who had a fifth place at Landrake. You know, been since Hawkston, because he had really good Hawkston International, Callum, not quite gone to plan, but you know, yeah, that fifth at Landrake really was a really good ride. You know, very unlucky in the second moto. A rider I just want to say about was Max Harris, because he won a round of the Scottish Championship. He's had a little dip. I think he missed the round at Landrake. But on Scottish soil, Max Harris is a rider to watch out for. So I wouldn't put him past a good result this weekend either.
Yeah, I mean, Max also has had a go at EMX as well, so yeah, it's good to be dipping his toes into that world. But yeah, for sure, points, strong points, maybe even a top 10 for Max is certainly on the cards as we go.
Cool. And just one more before we do predictions. I can think of Carl McNichol.
Yeah, Scottish rider.
Yeah, Scottish rider, and just noticing on his team that he's got AC United Gas. So I don't remember that him being part of that team previously. So being alongside Ben Musto would be you know, will be really good. Obviously the AC United Gas team very quiet now, a little bit from them, but obviously a really good setup. I mean, that's Lee Tolan, isn't it, that runs that team or owns that team. But yeah, really supporting British young riders. So that could be a good boost for Kyle. You know, he's had a tough few years, but certainly a very talented young man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very rough from incidents outside the sport even. So yeah, Kyle is it was with the SDS TPC KTN team, now lining up with ASA United Gas. They always put a good bike together. And I believe Kyle rode for them in the past, but I might be wrong there. But yeah, for sure, I think Kyle on home turf could well be a force. A good start, getting some good showing, some crowd support behind him. Then yeah, it'd be good to see what Kyle can do because yeah, he's a talent that has sadly not shown what he could do fully. And yeah, as always with that sort of story, you just hope that he pulls through to keep going as a pro in motocross. Very tough.
Mate, I'm just trying to figure out my top five. That is really hard. Can we do top six?
No. Rules is rules.
Oh man. Bloody hell, who set these stupid rules? That is really tricky.
We did. But there
That
we
is
go.
really, really tricky.
Tough to see a winner. Tough to even pick a winner, I feel. It's
Yeah.
pretty
But we've
crazy.
got to be calculated because there's two rounds and our predictions count for both. Jesus. The problem is I'm going to leave someone out who doesn't deserve to be left out.
Yeah, that's always how it's going to be. But I'm set. I'm there, man. Oh
Okay.
man, I've forgotten him.
I know, mate.
Yeah, this is dead time on the. This is not good. This is dead time on the podcast. Sorry, people. We are doing all that we can, but if you can pick your own top five out of MX2, then yeah, fair play to you because this is a real minefield right now.
Oh,
But
shit, you've got him. Oh,
exactly what I do. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, what
did
about
we
you?
make it top eight?
No, no, top five. This is how it is. Right. Okay, come on, get it done,
Okay.
man. People are
Just,
listening,
I'll got to
watching.
go first this time. I'm going to go Joe
Keep
Brooks.
reviewing, get to business.
Joe Brooks fifth.
Joe Brooks fifth. Okay. Ben Musto fifth.
Okay. I've got Ben Musto fourth.
Kai Carsmakers.
Yeah. Charlie Heyman third.
Snap.
Okay.
Bet
I
we got the
can't,
top three.
I can't write him off anymore. Searle second.
Snap.
Oriel first. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
But
we go.
but who have
Consensus.
we missed out? Like we've missed out some
But
really good.
we missed out Billy Askew,
I
clearly.
know.
And that sounds criminal, but yeah, for me, it was a case of shoulder injury, bit of lack of confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry because I like the family, I get on well with them, and yeah, obviously the Triumph team are a solid unit. So hey, fully prepared to be proven wrong. But I can't see Heyman off the podium. I can't see Oliver being out of the equation at all. Tommy will do what's necessary. Carsmakers is a talent, and Ben Musto was always there. So yeah, it's so tough to guess this class, but that's why I've gone that way for sure. I think Billy will certainly be up there, and sixth overall is where I would maybe guess him to be. But at the moment, I can just see the others ahead of him. But hey,
Tough. That's
ready
the
and
toughest one we've
ready,
done. That.
ready and willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That is going to be cracking races to watch there.
Yeah.
Talking of cracking races, the 125cc class this year has been outstanding. I think, and Paul Irwin, just to, pitch in there, Paul Irwin has got the British Championship for next year as well. So he will be at the helm for another year. I think he's done a great job. I think the entry lists, if you look, were over 30s in each class, and a couple of these classes are close to that 40. This time last year, when we were this deep in, we were struggling to get 20s. So, I think that is a real good upturn in entries, and I think that's fair play as well to Johnny and the Scottish Championship because they've been really working hard on promoting these rounds. So fair play to everyone for that, and I think it does bode well for the British Motocross Championship. We've got a stable year, following pretty much similar format to this year with the three classes. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the 125s and who will come through next year. But this year, we have a title fight at the moment looking likely between Charlie Richmond and Ryan Waggett, with probably an outside shot at Drew Stock. For Drew Stock, to be fair, I wouldn't say he's out of it, but he needs some good rides and he needs riders in between him. But at the moment, it's Charlie Richmond 13 points up on Ryan Waggett, but Ryan Waggett is not quite home turf, but this is where he does ply his trade, and he is a demon in the Scottish Championship on a 250, on a two-stroke, sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Wagger is and he was surprisingly strong at Landrake. I mean, he won that first race. Charlie started behind him, and on that sort of hard pack, you would imagine Charlie would be there all day long. But Ryan was able to hold him off, and then he looked a similar position in race two before he had a small crash, which meant that he had to come back. But he did come back and take second, and took second in that second race at Landrake. So yeah, Ryan's shown great form. He's gone against the form book with that sort of score at Landrake. So if he goes with the form book for Duns, then yeah, you could well see a dominant weekend for Waggett, which would make the championship super tight. if it ends like that. If he goes, if Wagger and Richmond go 1-2 in all four races, then they go to Ling with 1 point between them. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, so it's wide open here, and I think Waggett will be looking at this weekend and rubbing his hands, whereas Charlie knows he's got a fight on his hands. But he's not adverse to that, so I think it could be a really, really good race. And then you've got Drew Stock and Hayden Statt coming off finishing 1-2 in Sweden on that YZ Blue Crew event. I mean, fully on a high from that one, knowing they're going to the Yamaha boot camp in November to bid for a ride in EMX 125 next year with Yamaha. So yeah, those two riders will be on a high, and yeah, you could see either one of those two get up amongst them. So if they get between Ryan and Charlie, that's all good for Ryan. So yeah, it's this is going to be massive. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
You know what? And I love how gritty Drew Stock is. Like, is he? Do you know what? Like, is he the new Brad Anderson? I did an interview with Brad Anderson. I went, "Who's the next Brad Anderson?" You know, because Drew is a very canny rider. Like he knows where the other riders are. He keeps, he's always looking around him, which sometimes is a bad thing, but he does it really well. He's really good at calculating where his opposition is, and obviously it's proved fruitful in the British Championship. I think it was Canada Heights, wasn't it, when he when 1-1, riding very, very calculated, and then again, then in the Blue Crew meeting, like yeah, just mind games really, and just putting the bike in the right spot, and if he could gain enough points to be in title contention at the last round, you couldn't put it past him to ride very tactically to try and claw those points back in the finale.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. He was racing against that Danish kid, Bertram Torius, who trains with a lot of the riders, including Lucy Barker. So, yeah, Bertram is fast, and Dane and Swedish soil, it's not too far for him. So, but Drew was not going to let him beat him. Simple as. I mean, he was just like, yeah, he's faster than me, but he still just put the bike there. He came in, he had his front number plate sort of hanging off because he'd had contact with the Danish rider partway around where he just was not going to let him win. And then ultimately, the Danish rider slipped. Torius slipped off, and that allowed Drew through. And also Hayden, who had fallen off earlier in the race, came through to be 1-2. So you could say, okay, yeah, he didn't really have the pace, but what I like is that he wasn't accepting getting beat. It was a one race deal, that event. So, that's it. That race is your overall result. And he just went all out. And I'm sorry, but that sort of spirit is exactly what we need to see from British riders. That sort of spirit in amongst the European competition is exactly what we've been missing for a lot of riders in that company. So I thought that was fantastic for Drew Stock. And yeah, if he can show that, maybe increase the pace a little bit if possible, then yeah, he could be a real force in years to come. And that includes this year. I don't think he's out of it yet because Charlie and Ryan are not far in front. Okay, there's 32 points, but over 6 races, that can break down quite quickly. So, and also, you've got a real pack of riders there who can mess each other up. And, it's not easy to do maximum scores for any of these kids. So, it's going to be great. Really, really can't wait for this. This class is going to be full beans because, yeah, Hayden Statt, it's a very short journey, his closest round. Being from Durham, it's not far at all to get to Duns from there. And yeah, he likes that sort of going as well. So even Hayden, I wouldn't put it past Hayden to go 1-1 this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Those four have been the standout riders for sure in the championship. Just want to mention, just because you mentioned her name, Lucy Barker, for
Oh,
at the weekend. Wow,
go on.
because Lucy's not quite she's been on the fringes of that top 10 for quite a lot, and not had a lot of luck. She's had some real poor luck. Obviously, I think she's a treble European champion now, but to fourth, and it wasn't like she made the start. This was a proper battling performance from Lucy Barker, and that family put a lot of hard work in. So, what
Oh,
a fantastic result!
there were tears. There were tears amongst the Barker crew at Ireland. It was amazing to see. But what got me about it was there is that core unit of about 5 goddesses, we call them in MXGP paddock. They are the ones that are always there in WMX. Van Drunen, Guian, Fontanese, and obviously Courtney Duncan, who's off injured now. But Lucy got right in amongst them. and passed a lot of riders to get fourth in race two. Got sixth in race one and then passed a noise test, which I think she was almost more pleased with because she lost one last year. But yeah, for sure, Lucy getting up to fourth, that was fantastic. And if she can show that sort of pace, she could really join those elite riders, those elite group of riders, and be in contention for world championships in WMX in years to come. So hopefully that happens, and we can get the WMX class in amongst the British Grand Prix next year, so that she can get some support from the home fans because she really does deserve it.
Yeah, fair play, well done to Lucy and the team. You know, there's a lot of people that
Yeah, yeah,
really
a
support
lot
her.
of
So,
effort going in there.
yeah, fair play. Yeah. So back
And
to the
then
one
most
two
one two
fives.
fives.
Yeah, so Harry Lee, Lucas Moncrief, you know, battling out fifth and sixth at the moment. Yeah, Lucas had some good rides in the Blue Crew. Well, one ride, wasn't it? But good rides, good times as well in the the qualifying and time sessions there as well. Zane Stevens made two really good starts down on home soil. A long way for Zane to travel up from down in Cornwall to Scotland. But yeah, I know how much hard work that they are putting in as well. So yeah, Christopher Brindley, we've seen him ride really well. Jack Evans in ninth, Alfie Geddes Green, then taking the Eastern Centre Junior title. Yeah, riding really well down in the Eastern Centre, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And get a screen, I think he's got more pace than that. Finley Pickering as well, coming back from injury, is a bit further down the standings, but Finley has got some serious speed. So yeah, he could also be a force up there in Duns. But yeah, the 125 is going to be all out. I can't wait for this one. It's going to be great. So predictions then, sir?
Okay, fifth, I've got Harry Lee.
Okay. I've got Lucas Moncrief.
Okay, fourth, I've got Hayden Stapp.
Okay. I've got Charlie Richmond.
Okay, I've got Charlie Richmond in third.
Okay. Third, I've got Drew Stock.
Okay, so I've got Drew Stock in second.
I've got Stacked in second.
Okay, looks like then we both got Ryan Wagger number one. That yeah, we say local, but it's not local. But he is, you
He's
know,
just been passed up there. He's
yeah,
been Mr. Scotland. So
yeah,
yeah,
he is
that's why I'm
very
going.
fast in Scotland.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
going on, and the fact that he was very impressive at Landrake. I thought he made a step up there.
and
So yeah,
based on our predictions, that is gonna set it up
yeah.
absolutely massively for a final round.
I, I know
Showdown.
I know the family want him to go 252 stroke or something. I think he's going 252 stroke next year. I'm kind of screaming at him to get him on a four stroke and get in amongst it because I don't know. I two stroke for me. If you're a promising young professional rider, you need to be on a four stroke because that's why the world championships are decided. And yeah, call me new fashioned or whatever you want to call me, but I just yeah. Anyway, either way, Ryan's a great promising rider, and I just really hope he's got a good pro career in front of him. So yeah, and I can't see him getting beaten this weekend, but we'll see.
We will see. One thing we will see because it's pending is the Motocross of Nations Team GB pick. So hopefully this next week on our review pod we'll be able to talk about the Team GB pick.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be good.
yeah, be interesting. It's felt like a long time coming. So yeah, interesting to see who will be repping us over
Uh,
in America.
it's going to be a surprise, I think.
Yeah, no,
I've heard things, and I'm pretty sure I know who the team's going to be, but obviously I can't leak it. But yeah, I think people will be quite surprised, at
okay.
least at least for one of the picks.
Interesting. Excited to hear that. Cool. Well, basically, Duns this weekend, mate. So if you're in Scotland or close, or just fancy a trip, really, let's be fair, it's going to be an epic weekend. We know that Johnny will put on a fantastic show there. It's going to be a great track. You've got Jeffrey Herlings there. MX2 is going to be unreal. The 125s is going to be awesome. You can watch it on MXGB.TV, or which is pretty much the YouTube channel. So you're going to be able to live stream it. I think it's on FIM TV as well,
Just now, yeah, yeah.
FIM.TV as well. So free, you're going to be able to watch it for free. If Duns is a little bit too far from you, if it's not too far from you, get there because it's going to be an epic weekend.
Yeah, it's not too far over the border into Scotland. It's south of Edinburgh. So yeah, it's not as far as people might think. But yeah, for sure, get behind it because yeah, this British Championship's going all the way, I think, for certainly for two of the classes anyway. And yeah, just to see Jeffrey and Conrad go at it is going to be worth the admission fee alone. So yeah, we'll be there with my new buddy Sean Doherty. Got on the phone with me yesterday, so somebody who's used to commentating that part of the world, and yeah, I'm not, but obviously been part of the championship for a while now. So yeah, the two of us are looking forward to working together, and yeah, putting on a good bit of commentary for everybody local. So can't wait, going to be fantastic. Can't wait to get to Duns. My first time ever in Scotland. Brilliant. Let's go.
Cool. Right. Have a great one, guys. And we will catch you next week with the review pod and see how our predictions stacked up.
Yeah, thanks very much for listening, everyone. See you next time on the All British Motocross podcast from Dirt Hub.